And go ahead and record me on that.
Please.
And what we'll do too is, and we usually do this for every speaker, is we clap them. We clap them all the way up to the podium, and then as they leave as well. So we'll have that in there for you as well, and we'll really impress your teacher. How about that?
There you go. You're not zooming.
And give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Our third speaker of the evening is actually a guest who reached out to me this week to give a speech at our club. So it is my privilege and pleasure to introduce Joseph Janeda doing a persuasive speech of 5 to 7 minutes on immigration reform. Joseph.
Thank you, John. First of all, before I begin my speech, I wanted to give a thanks out to the intrepid Toastmasters. This is my second visit here, and the welcome has always been warm and well received by me. And I tell you who you should reach out to are the students that are in speech classes at St. Pete JC, because you should see the panic with emails when we're trying to find a place to give a speech. I think that's good.
Would it be easier to put it onto maybe this right here?
Maybe. Thank you, John. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joseph Janeda. I'm here to give a persuasive argument on immigration reform, or overhaul, some people like to call it. And this is for my St. Petersburg College speech class with my instructor, Miss Williams. So what I'd like to first start out, before I even get into the reform, is to first tell you my personal belief on immigration reform, so you know that this is coming from a person that believes that immigrants need to be here. My great-grandfather came here in 1895. I'm a second-generation American. He came here from Poland when the Russians and the Germans were fighting over Poland in 1895. I believe immigration is what made this country great, and I think that the Statue of Liberty and what it stands for should never be given a second thought. We should welcome these people in, but you can't just have the whole world come here at once. There has to be some kind of system in place. In December of 2014, President Obama used executive action to freeze the immigration status on almost 14 million immigrants. Okay, a lot of these immigrants came into this country illegal, and they had what are known as anchor babies. Anchor babies are children that are born on U.S. soil after their parents have illegally entered the country. Now, I'm not here to say that's right or that's wrong, but the problem with President Obama's executive order is he not only trumped constitutional law, but he trumped legal law. And what I mean by that is our criminal system is set up that if you break the law, and illegal entry into the country is breaking the law, or if you murder someone or worse, you can't write a book and profit from that. You can't do talk shows and get paid for doing them. You can't profit. It's more of the fruit of the poisonous tree. Now, here's the problem with this new reform. President Obama is giving aid to these illegal immigrants that came to our country, had anchor babies. So they committed the crime to get in. They then had children in this country illegally, but the children became American citizens, and now we're going to reward the illegal entry into this country with aid, medical, money, food stamps. And you just can't, it's unconstitutional to do that. There has to be overhaul all the way around. What I don't understand is, and if you go to the Immigration Enforcement Actions of 2013 from Homeland Security, you can see the same report. I'm going to leave this up there for you. But in 2013 alone, there was over 3 million illegal immigrants that came from South America and Mexico. There was 29,000 that came from Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. It's staggering. Now, here's what I don't understand about the immigration reform. Until you secure the borders and you can control the flow, just like Ellis Island worked for almost 50 years. Until you control the borders, it's an unfair playing field for what about the people from Yemen or Iraq or Sudan who's trying to get away from being killed? They have to go through almost a 7-year process to come to this country. But anyone from Argentina, Colombia, Venezuela can walk across the Rio Grande, and we welcome them. So there's not an equal playing field. So when we say, give us your hunger, your weak, and come to this America to make us great, we're not enforcing it equally upon all the citizens of the world. The newest problem with the law that President Obama enacted is now we're seeing an influx. In the last year, from 2013 to 2015 of March, we found an influx of almost 101,000 immigrants from Yemen, from Iraq and Iran and Afghanistan coming through Mexico and across the Rio Grande. Now the problem is these might be people innocently trying to make a better life for themselves. But what do we know of their intentions? These are countries that aren't, well, they don't think America well thought. They don't like us. They have a different belief. But what I'm saying is until we can control the borders, one Band-Aid doesn't fix it. I don't think it's wrong to give a handout to immigrants that need it and or that are coming to this country to be part of this country. But unless you take care of the whole picture, border security, aid, the anchor babies, until you can take care of everything at once, just one little Band-Aid is not going to stop the hemorrhaging. So what I'm saying and what I'm trying to convince you of is that the system we have in place right now will never work until we can fix everything as a whole. And at that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over, and if there's any questions at this time, I'll be glad to ask or answer. Yes?
So what exactly do we need to fix? What are those components? Are there 5 or 6 areas that
Well,
need
unfortunately, the biggest component right now, we have 15 million known illegal immigrants just from South America alone. That doesn't count the rest of the world. But we're assuming, or they're assuming through their facets, a few thousand from Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. Mm-hmm. But until you put a plug into the entrance, by President Obama's, for instance, his executive order, so we're helping 15 million, but by the time we help those 15 million, 10 more million have entered the country. Mm-hmm. So we got to secure our borders and control the flow before we can even think of helping anyone.
So that's the main thing.
Yeah, the control.
Okay.
Ellis Island worked perfect for 50 years, and then they shut it down. Mm-hmm. Any other questions? I hope I was able to convince some of you that might have a different thought. I'd like to thank you very much. And again, for the Intrepid Toastmasters, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe.